Behind the major houses of Westeros, supporting them, making up their armies, there are the minor houses, some firm in their loyalty, others biding their time, eager to cross their liege lords and play the game for themselves. Before the days of the Rhoynar migration, House Yronwood of Dorne controlled a large and powerful kingdom, rich in mines and minerals, built strategically to control the Stoneway, one of two great passages into the territory. Yet when Nymeria came with her 10,000 ships and allied with their rivals in House Martell of Sunspear, the kingdom of Yronwood saw their final days, and they lost their throne, being forced to swear allegiance to House Martell of a united Dorne. Yet they would always remember the glory of their past, with the head of their house given the title Blood Royal, and as a consequence their loyalty had never been solid. They grew a bitter rivalry with House Fowler, who supported the Martells in those early days, and even rose in rebellion against the Martells in 3 of the 5 Blackfire rebellions. The Tyrells of Highgarden claimed their legitimacy partly from their ancestry, which they traced to House Gardener of the ancient kingdom of the Reach. Yet they are not the only house to claim such lineage. House Florent of Brightwater Keep, though technically bannermen to the Tyrells, claim their descent also from House Gardener, and believe that they are in fact the rightful rulers of Highgarden and the Reach. One of the principal bannermen for House Lannister, House Payne of the Westerlands, have long been loyal to their liege lords, with some of their most famous members suffering greatly on their behalf. Sir Ilyn Payne, best known as King Robert's executioner, called the King's Justice, was once captain of the Lannister Guard, until King Aerys II had his tongue removed for commenting that Tywin Lannister truly ruled the Seven Kingdoms. A distant relation to Sir Ilyn is young Podrick Payne, who served as a squire to various noble lords, before coming to the service of Tyrion Lannister, whose life he would come to save. House Dondarrion of Blackhaven, the Marcher Lords of the Boneway, guarding the pass into Dorne, were said to have been raised by one of the Storm Kings when a bright purple lightning bolt struck 2 Dornishman assailants, saving their ancestor and allowing him to deliver a crucial message to the king. When King Robert Baratheon took the Iron Throne, Lord Beric Dondarrion was considered one of his most loyal bannermen. One of the oldest houses in the continent, the Blackwoods of Raventree Hall, were descended from the First Men and once ruled as kings of the Wolfswood in the north, before being driven out by the Winter Kings of House Stark. In the Age of Heroes, they ruled as kings of the Riverlands, and developed a feud with House Bracken that would follow them through the ages. The Blackwoods would go on to fight against the Andal invaders, and even after their defeat, refused to take the Seven as their gods, and are one of the only families south of the Neck to still worship the old gods. The Blackwoods would lead the Rivermen resistance against the invasion of the Iron Islands, and eventually allied with Aegon the Conqueror to overthrow King Harren the Black. Yet due to their constant fighting with House Bracken, their power and influence had weakened over the years, and they were passed over for the lordship of the territory, instead becoming bannermen to House Tully of Riverrun. They also sided with the Targaryens in the Blackfire rebellions. Among the Andal invaders of the Vale, House Corbray came to be known as the Kings of the Fingers, though their enemies and rivals dispute the claim. Hailing from Hearthstone, they have long been bannermen to House Arryn and fought alongside the Targaryen forces in the Blackfire Rebellion. And though they originally sided with the Targaryens in the opening battles of Robert's Rebellion, they quickly joined House Arryn in allying with the Baratheons. One of their most famous heroes was Sir Gawain Corbray, who dueled Daemon Blackfire for nearly an hour, each wielding Valyrian swords at the Battle of the Redgrass Field. Though Lord Gawain was defeated and blinded in the fight, Daemon Blackfire was so impressed by his bravery that he ordered the man's life spared, and further sent for his men to take him to the Maester for healing. Ironically, this act of compassion and honor would give enemy archers the time to position themselves and send a volley of arrows that would kill the Blackfire King. Though most of the noble houses of the Iron Islands claim their descent from the sons of the ancient Grey King, the Goodbrothers of Hammerhorn claim their lineage from the Grey King's loyal elder brother, and are one of the oldest and most powerful houses on the islands. During the age of the Driftwood Crown, their house was elected to kingship of the territory more than any other family, save the ancient Grey Irons, whose line is now extinct. Their most famous king was Urathan Goodbrother IV, whose cruelty was so infamous he earned the name Bad Brother, and was eventually overthrown by Torgon Grey Iron and hacked to pieces by the new king. One of the ancient noble houses of the north, House Forrester, controlled the Yronwoods, and are known as great craftsmen and builders. They are loyal to the Starks of Winterfell, and claim their seat at Ironrath. Their traditional enemies are the Whitehills, who envy their dominion of the lucrative forest. The Whitehills of the north have long served as vassals to House Bolton, and it is to them they owe their loyalty. It is said they once possessed vast forests like their rivals in House Forrester, but poor management saw them squander their holdings, until they were left with naught but barren white hills. They are one of the only families in the north to worship the Seven rather than the old gods.